crafters, welcome into Guys Craft 2. My name is John, and I hope you have had an amazing weekend and are having an amazing Sunday. So, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me. My friend in Tucson is back from Stephanie's retreat, and she was first in the chat tonight. So, welcome back, Miss Balloonist. Thanks for being here. Hey, Judy, thanks for joining tonight. There's Mr. Russ. I know Mr. Russ. He's in the long arm room, he says. He's got to be tired. He was on for many hours today with his son, shenanigans. And so I did actually get to join for just a little bit today before I went to the garden and did some of that fun stuff. Hey, Candace, good afternoon. Welcome. Joydy is here. Judy's here. Good afternoon. Hope everyone's having a good day. Jeannie's here. Welcome in. And hopefully, closed captioning is working tonight. Fingers crossed. I had a phone Zoom call the other day with Miss Danielle, and I think she finally got me set straight. So hopefully, you all are seeing closed captioning tonight for the first time ever. So how crazy is that? So much to learn. I mean, it's one thing to say you start a channel and host a channel, but there's just so much to learn and get going in that. So hopefully it's working tonight. Hey, Dawn, welcome in. Thanks for being here. There's Miss Jan. Hey, sweetie, thanks for being here. I missed her yesterday. Yesterday was a busy, busy day. Yes, they all are for me on the weekends. But we had Quilt Club had their Go Gang, their AccuQuilt session yesterday, along with the Ag Club, which is my garden club, had a luncheon. Another club that I belong to actually had a luncheon. We just had to back up and say, what do we want to do? And what we wanted to do was go to the Ag Club yesterday. So we had a nice luncheon there. Didn't win a door prize, which was frustrating because they gave out like, I think 30 prizes, but it is what it is. It's all good. Kevin Mark's here. Hey, Mary. Hello from Kansas. I'm here until son comes for dinner. Totally get that. You enjoy being with him because I plan to enjoy having dinner with my family next weekend for Easter. Hey, Jackie. Sweet Granny's here from Western PA. I hope you are having some warm weather. So crazy, right? So my daughter picks on me all the time because I tend to just remind her that I live in Arizona and she's still back in Virginia. And that's where I'm going next weekend, is to be with her and the grandkids and all that for Easter. And so I think it was Tuesday, we hit our first 100 day in Arizona. I'll be honest, I didn't even realize that we hit 100 degrees. It really didn't feel that hot to me, which could be scary that now 100 degrees doesn't feel that hot anymore. I think we've gotten so used to 118 that 100 just doesn't cut it. But anyways, it just didn't feel that hot to me. But saw on the news that we had officially met our first 100 day, which is kind of sad because it's very early in the season, although it has tapered down the rest of the week. So I sent her a meme that said, Phoenix 100 degrees today, April, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she texts me back and she goes, your timing is always impeccable. She said, we woke up to 31 degrees this morning. And I was like, ew, yuck. Oh, wait a minute. That's where I'm going to be next weekend. So hopefully we won't be waking up to 31 degrees. But if we do, we do. The grandkids will make it all worth it. Oh, look at, you got to love Russ. So he always finds those things in a video, right? So I am not putting my head just right. I'll have to look though offline. Oh yeah, you're right. It does. Oh my goodness. He's supposed to be focused on his long arm, you know? He's so right. Now I got to figure out, maybe I'll move that panel. I'm actually just cut another panel out that I want to kind of go across, but we'll see. I got to figure out. I got to get the new Hercules machine running, And so if I get Hercules running, then maybe we will. I'll get that one done. So it's another sew and stitch applique one that I want to work on, and it's one that I got to do by hand that I can't do over on the Viking. Zaza's here. Welcome, Zaza. Thanks for being here. She says, "How many lunches did you eat?" Just one. Will be just one next Saturday. So I fly out. The car service takes me to the airport Friday, and they call it Good Friday, but it's not going to be good for me. I get up. I have to be up at 2:30 a.m. to get to the leave for the airport at 3:30, so I can take off at 6 a.m. So that means my flight boards at 5:30. So for me, that's pushing it a little bit. I don't usually. I like to be at the airport at least a good full 2 hours before the flight, but I'm hoping there's not as many crazy people as me. So fly to from here to Virginia on Friday. I'll get Friday night with the family for a little bit. It won't be great because I've got the 3 hour time change plus, all day basically sitting on a plane. So I do that Friday night, be with family a little bit. Saturday, I'll be with family all day. I'm very, very disappointed because I heard from my niece today that my nephew and his wife, who watches the channel, will not be there. And no, my nephew did not text me to let me know. And no, my nephew hasn't said a word to me. But that's okay. Word travels in this family very quickly because there's only a few of us that actually get together and ever get to see each other. So disappointing because I really, one of the main reasons I went to Easter was to see him because this is probably the last Easter I'll be going, and that's the only time I get to see him because it has just gotten way, way too expensive. So I just can't do it anymore. And I get to see my grandkids and all that at the beach. But with that said, I will not be live next Sunday. What I do plan to do is to record a short video with my granddaughter on Saturday, and we will post that. It won't be a premiere or whatever they call it, but I will have something posted up on Sunday at this time, but I will not be live next Sunday. So, because I will be back on a plane trying to get to Phoenix so I can get up Monday morning and go to work and do it all again to pay for all this craziness. So, it is what it is. Life's too short. You might as well have fun and enjoy what you can while you can. So, with that said, let's go over some things. I've got a bunch of things going on. I actually take notes so I don't forget to talk about what I want to talk about. I already talked about Danielle in closed captioning. She rocks. She's amazing. Hopefully, you all are seeing it, and that is finally working for me. Not sure how it comes across when I get into the Southern because sometimes the accent does come out. Probably will more so next week, especially once I've been around family. I tend to get that twang back just a little bit. Although they let me know at Garden Club yesterday that I was definitely a Southerner and not from this area. So, whatever. I'm very proud of my heritage. Russ, and then we're talking about Southerners today, and now I can't even remember what we were talking about on his So Shanigan's show. We were talking about something. Oh, they were talking about fried bologna sandwiches, and they call it bologna. It's bologna sandwiches, and if you haven't had fried bologna, then you probably haven't. You don't know very many real Southern people, but I grew up on fried bologna sandwiches, and it's kind of interesting because I did just buy a package of bologna a few months ago. I had not. I don't think I had seen it for. I don't think I'd seen bologna for. Um, I don't think I've had it probably in 20 years. It's just something I haven't bought forever. Joydy says she doesn't see captioning. That's killing me. YouTube. I checked it before I went live. It's supposed to be out there. Oh, Zaza says you could turn them on. Awesome. Thank you, Zaza. So, yes, tell you what, it's just there's so much to learn. Fortunately, I've got friends like Russ who helped me out. Danielle helped me out this last time. because we all use, some of us use a little bit different software in that, so that always makes it a little challenging too. But anyways, so we were talking about fried bologna, and so that was cool. If you haven't had fried bologna with, you got to have fresh sliced onions, and if you're from the real South, you have to have Vidalia onions. And it was so funny. I just talked to somebody the other day, and they were like, "Well, do you want sweet onions or blah blah blah?" I said, "Well, actually, what I want is a Vidalia onion, but you don't find those out here in Arizona." And they were like, "I've never heard of a Vidalia onion." Yeah, you true West Coaster, you just kill me. And then I hear that Washington State actually has a variety of onions that is kind of similar, I guess, to the Vidalia onion. But anyways, I always like getting my Vidalia onions. What else is going on? I've been watching Donna Ling some this week. She had a special night for Donna Jordan the other night, and that was pretty cool to watch. I typically watch Sobeka a lot on Friday nights because she does that Friday night, but ended up with Donna, and um, really cool. So um, it's just amazing how much our folks do. Thanks, Russ. You are amazing. Um, Yeah, Kevin Murray says, see, Mary says, order Vidalia every year. Yum. There's just not, especially if you grew up down around that area. I actually, um, so I don't know if you all ever watched Tim Totten. I catch Tim Totten every so often, and just, going through YouTubes and different things happening. Tim Totten the other day was talking about this chicken salad, and he buys it at this chicken salad restaurant. It must be like a little pop up. I think they've got 200 locations, he said. Of course, he's down in Florida. We don't have that chain that he was talking about, but he has their recipe for one of their chicken salads. I love chicken salad. Our Fries, which is owned by Kroger, does a pretty good chicken salad, but it's frustrating because you got to go in, you got to stand in line. And our deli, depending on what time you go in, you can wait 15 minutes to an hour. It's just amazing how long it takes to, because they only usually have two people max working, and they only know one speed. And it's like, really, I just want to scoop a chicken salad. It doesn't take that long, and they don't have it already scooped up for you. So, anyways, Tim Totten had a recipe on, and so I ended up making that the other night. Actually, didn't turn out too bad. Learned a lot because I love to cook, but I just really never fooled with chicken salad. So there are some things that I would do different next time, but it was kind of fun. It was fun to play with that. But I managed to find Duke's mayonnaise at Fries the other day. So excited that I can get my Duke's mayonnaise because if it's got to be mayonnaise, it's got to be Duke's. So that was kind of cool. So as I said, sometimes watch Brenda Gant from Alabama. It's a cooking show. She does proper Southern cooking and eats those onions. See, there you go. I'll have to look at her, Brenda Gant. I'll have to look at her sometime because I do enjoy the cooking shows just because I like a variety. And so I do most of the cooking during the week. I've got a special friend that always cooks for me on Sunday. We always do fajitas on the grill, on the Blackstone griddle. On Friday nights, always fajita Friday. So there's just certain things, but I've actually started making a list of different things I like as far as meals, so we can start kind of rotating through the meals because I have a habit of like ordering the same thing from the grocery every week, going back to the same thing. And I thought, you know what, this is just crazy. I need to look at. I like variety, but I don't think of it. So that's actually helped me. I put that in a notes section on the on my iPhone. And now, before I order groceries each week, I go through and at look at that list to say, oh, you know what? I haven't made that for 6 weeks, or I haven't made that for 3 months, or oh yeah, I forgot that I even know how to make that. So that's really helped me get some variety. back into my cooking because I just don't like to eat out. I don't like spending the money to eat out. Because typically, by the time they bring me the bill, I go, you know what? I could have made it at home for a third of the price and a lot cheaper, and it probably would have been a lot better. Sorry, guys, I wanted to sew tonight too, but for some reason, this needle is not wanting to thread tonight. I think it's just, have you all had one of those days? I actually got something done I want to show you all. So we'll see how that goes. See, sometimes it's easier to just do it by hand. Um, Melanie says Zaza, she's a hoot. So talking about Brenda. Um, oh, she has cookbooks out, Zaza says. So, the last thing I need is cookbooks. It is so sad, folks. I bet you, and I'm not exaggerating because you know how I like to shop anyways. I bet you I have a minimum of 300 cookbooks to the extent that I had, I think, three big bookshelves full of books, cookbooks. There's no way that I could have possibly ever looked at all those cookbooks. I mean, I did when I bought them, right? So I don't know, about 2 years ago, I ended up deciding, you know what, I'm going to take it down to like two rows, take it down to 25 cookbooks, something like that. So I gave tons and tons and tons of cookbooks away because I was like, I don't need these. And then like Valerie Bertinelli came out with a new cookbook, and Dolly Parton came out with a new cookbook, and Paula Dean came out with a new cookbook. I bet you easily I have 100 cookbooks, and then we have a book sale once a quarter. I think it's the first Saturday of the second quarter. So it's not like so in each quarter there's a sale, but it's the second month of each quarter. So it's like February, May. Oh my gosh, May would be coming up, right? Anyways, they line up literally to get in this book sale. So I go in and buy puzzles usually because I am a puzzle snob. I enjoy doing puzzles, but I only will do Hallmark puzzles. I like that quality of puzzle. They sell out within the first 20 minutes, but then they've just got books and books and books. I ended up carrying out like 30 cookbooks last time I went because the most expensive one was like $3, and you're talking about some of the nice, 40, $50 Williams Sonoma, cookbooks and that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have just went back to filling up that bookshelf, and now I'm starting a second one, and it's like you've got to stop. But I do. I just love cookbooks. I love to sit and just go through cookbooks and dog ear them with little post-its. But anyways, I'm sorry, guys. I digress. Have you ever noticed that? I am so ADHD. You can just get me off on any subject. Hey, Charlotte, thanks for being here this afternoon. Thanks for joining. Zaza says, see, she gets it. It's easy to get stuck in that cooking rut. Miss Jan says, doesn't your machine have a needle threader? Yes, and I do. Though I'm a Juki boy. At the end of the day, I will always be a Juki boy. I love everything about my Jukis. The one thing the Juki has yet to figure out is an appropriate needle threader. It just cracks me up. The one on their top of the line machine is better compared to the Viking. It's still a dog. This one that's on the TL series, some days we get along, some days we don't, and so it just frustrates me. It's the one thing that they absolutely need to work on. Hey, Kev, Mary, be good. Enjoy Florida. Enjoy your son dinner. So yeah, just kind of crazy. All right, let's see what else we're talking about. Oh, Miss Judy posted the other day and says you need to get off your rear end and get ready for Memorial Day because we will be having a holiday quilting bee. And she suggested that we do that I might want to look at Sparkle and Stripes by Villa Rosa. So I did order it. I believe that's the only way you can get this pattern is by ordering it. It's not a digital download. If it is a digital download, then John clicked the wrong button, so I had to wait a week for them to send it. It literally came in the mail yesterday. I have not looked at it. It is a pretty pattern, but I really want to look at it before I commit to what we're doing. But it would be fun to do something patriotic for Memorial Day because the only patriotic, in fact, I've only done one patriotic quilt. Technically, it is qualified as a quilt of honor because it did meet their specification because, again, it was a Villa Rosa design. But I have, it's just funny, something that's not in my arsenal is patriotic quilts, not for any reason. I've got a son that's in the Air Force. I've got a son in law that served in the Army, and that. So we're a very service oriented family. I just, for some reason, have never made that many patriotic quilts. So it would be cool to do that. I just want to look at this pattern and look at it a little bit closer before I decide that's the one we want to do. But Miss Judy sent that and suggested that I look at it, and I will do so. It's just been a busy day. I've gotten a lot accomplished this weekend, but I'll leave tomorrow morning for San Diego because I've got to go to San Diego for 3 days for work, and not really anxious for that, but it is what it is. All right, I'm going to test. Let's see if Nightbot is working. So far, I have had not too much trouble with Nightbot. I know everyone else, it's driving folks nuts. Um, but for some reason, Nightbot does seem, yeah, see, so I just put in um, exclamation point Russ. So those that have channels that I know about, I tried to set up, and so I dropped him. So Nightbot is working for me today. So we'll see how that goes. What else am I going to talk about? So anyways, I got the quote from, got the pattern that I will look at for Memorial Day. And then Danielle is going to be so jealous. I got the next Stitch in Heavens Gnome of the Month. This is Gnome 4. And as you all know, I joined that club. I forgot that I joined the club, but I did apparently join the club. So we're 4 months in. I have yet to do the first one. Um, but I joined the club specifically because they give me all the pre-cuts. They give me the fabrics, it's all done, but they also give me the pattern, which is great because now I can scan it. And if I want to do more of these same gnomes, I can do like they did and cut the pattern in that through my Cricut, which is sitting over there. The Cricut doesn't have a name. Not sure why I never named the Cricut, although I've named all of my sewing machines. But I just never named that one. So maybe if I start using it more, I would. But anyways, Stitch in Heavens, Quilt of the or Gnome of the Month. It was called Gnome Mania. They've got some really, really cute ones. I have yet to do them. Month one was the birthday. I don't know why they started off with the birthday gnome, but he's cute. I've got to get him done. They had a cute one for Easter with a ducky, and I really liked that. And you can see, since I like gnomes, it was easy to suck me in on something like this. May was called Gardening Glinda. And again, these have been adorable. But guys, I will tell you, the one for month 4, they just knocked it out of the ballpark. It's called June Snorkel Buddy Sandfoot. And I am telling you, I think that is one of the cutest gnomes I have ever seen. And if Danielle was on here, she would be having a fit right now. So I do like it. They did for the sunglasses, they did provide a fabric for the sunglasses. I don't know that I'm going to use those fabrics or if I might use a reflective um, here instead, like they're using in a lot of the other ones, and maybe cut my own and use that because I think that would really be cute to kind of make them look a little bit more like mirrored sunglasses. But probably at the end of the day, I'll do this one the way you're supposed to do it and try not to change things because then I start changing things up and it's like, okay, now because you're changing it, it's taking you 3 times as long to do it. And Listen, guy, you haven't even got the first one done. But I just thought he was so cute. Candace says, is that applique? It is applique. They're all 12 by 12-inch mini quilt blocks, but it comes with everything. So says 3/8 yards of low volume fabric for the background. You need your fabric scraps, you need your binding, and they actually provide the steamosine too because they've already applied that when they cut out the pieces for us. So I like that. You can buy just the pattern and do it yourself. It is this pattern happens to be Ribbon Candy Quilt Company, just so you know. So I have no idea how much the pattern itself is because I just happened to, I don't know. It came in my silly email one day, and I keep saying I'm not opening emails and I'm not doing things. And yet, Russ made me spend a bunch of money on Tula the other day, and we're not even going to talk about that because I love me some Tula. And I've actually been watching a bunch of YouTubes with her this weekend and learning more and more about how she got started in that, which is pretty crazy. Melanie says, I just left San Diego area back last June. Was over there for 3 years. Chula Vista. I love San Diego. I'm actually going to Coronado, out to whatever that resort is out there, for a couple of days for a conference, work conference I have to go to. And when I say I have to go, I have to go. It's not my choice. I would be just as happy not to go and stay in Arizona. I am well over any travel for work, and that's why I was hoping when I joined a local corporate based company in Phoenix that I probably would never travel again. And I don't, except they seem to find these conferences and educations that we've got to go to. And that's where I go. So it is what it is. I do like it. Melanie says Navy base there. Yes, well aware. My niece and I, who are like brother and sister, she works for the Department of Navy. She has now for 33 years, and she's a I think mechanical engineer. But anyway, she works on the big guns and all that kind of stuff. She's a program manager and all that. But back in the day, when she was learning and cutting her teeth, her ships were assigned in San Diego. So they used to fly her out from Kentucky, of all places. They had a naval station, is where she was based out of for years. But they flew her out to San Diego for 6 weeks at a time. So she spent a lot of time out there with the Navy guys. Zasa said they are so cute. They really are. It's just crazy. Jody says she spies empty shelf space. Tell you what, girl, I have been working hard to try to get that empty shelf space. And actually, the only reason it looks empty is because I moved the stack from there to here because I was hoping during the live tonight that I might get some of the binding done on my St. Patrick's placemats that I never got done. And we won't talk about the fact that I never even got started on the Easter one. So obviously, the Easter ones aren't going um, to Virginia this week. But it's fine. They're still happy to see me. Oh, Katrina goes, it's a snorkel. You know what? You're right. It is a snorkel. It's not sunglasses. That's why you all love me. See, I am just John at the end of the day. But thank you. You are right. Melanie said it's awesome there. I do love San Diego. I can't imagine living there. Just I drive by and see gas at $6, $7 a gallon. It's like, no, I just can't imagine. I've got friends that live out there, and they're like, yeah, we freeze half the year because we just can't afford to turn the heat to where it should be, and but the other half of the year they're pretty warm because or comfortable because it just doesn't get as hot there in some spots of California as others. But it is absolutely gorgeous. I see why people wanted to move there and why it's such a draw to begin with. Jan says, "Are you staying at?" Yes, I am staying at the Coronado Hotel and Resort or whatever. So I will be there for 2 nights. I will be there. And it said her dad was at the Navy base. Oh, Candace goes, he told me some crazy stories about Tijuana. Yeah, I've heard some Tijuana stories, and I've never been. I've actually been out to San Diego several times, been to Escondido a couple of times. Just never was brave enough to go to Tijuana. Part of it is I just don't understand the language, the culture, the heritage enough to, and so I would have to be with the right person to kind of trust going out there. Plus, being John Smith, I have such a hard time getting in and out of the country. It's like it's just not even worth it. So I don't even fool with it anymore. Um, so some things I did get accomplished. Guyscraft 2 website is up and running. So if you are bored in the next few days, feel free to go out and check out the new website. It does have information regarding the first retreat, which is New Year's Eve, going to be on December 31st through January 4th up at the Quilter's Nest in Payson. We have 8 spots available. So anxious and excited to get our first retreat put together and under our belt. And we have 5 scheduled for 2026 at some locations in Phoenix. And we will be releasing information for those a little bit later. But anxious to put the Guyscraft 2 spin on retreats. We're not looking at necessarily educational retreats, but project focused retreats or just open so. And so, but with a lot of surprises, games, different activities, and that, so that we just get to enjoy being together and sewing. And Miss Balloonist from Tucson, I would love to know how Stephanie's retreat was and if you all had a good time, because I can't imagine not having a good time with Stephanie. What else? Oh, and then Russ, see, again, Russ got me turned on to OESD. I ignored it the other day because they apparently have all of Tula Pink's embroidery files and stitches. Um, so let's just say I didn't realize they had the past stitches or past files there. So yes, I ended up buying 3 sets. So that cost me way, way more than I meant to. Hey, Melanie, bye. And so I got I downloaded these and I'm anxious to get them stitched. I don't know what it is. I love a lot of what Tula does. There's a lot of things that she does do that just doesn't appeal to me. But one of the things that does appeal to me is this crazy owl. I don't know what it is about owls that just really resonate with me. Um, but I really want to stitch this owl on a sweatshirt. I got it out. I did buy it. We will see when and how that works. Thankfully, I have the pin needle to put it in. If I do the what I consider the bigger of the two, it is 7 inches by 12 inches, which my pin needle will do, but it's 111,000 stitches. So we will see how that happens and when that happens. But all of the different collections are out there. I'm not pushing OESD at all. Um, I just happened to go out. I had ignored it, and then Russ goes, "Well," then I had to go back out and look again. So I'm a grown man. I made a conscious choice, decided I wanted to do that because I do have a couple of Tula sweatshirts I want to make. And I say sweatshirts because I think t-shirts would just be too thin for some of her designs. I'd have to do like a single color design because her designs are heavy. I mean, when you talk about 111,000 stitches, crazy. I did get one quilt top done. Not that I needed any more done, because unlike Russ, who's in his long arm room, the long arm sits behind me when I work, and that's about it. I do need to get there, but this is the quilt top that the local machine shop had when I bought Hercules back here, but I fell in love with this panel. It ended up being they did it with a um, Villa Rosa design, I have to say I like the way this turned out, and I think it's kind of cool. And I can't see, guys, so hopefully you're getting a good view. Um, but it is not my favorite Villa Rosa design. I will tell you. I get that it's a panel, but it was a lot of cutting. And when you look at all the different pieces and that have to go in here and the way, I just, it was a lot more work. It is something different than just putting borders and borders and borders and making your panel bigger. But I'm in love with flamingos. I love me some crazy flamingos. And so I really did like this. When she had it hanging in the store, I liked it and just grabbed the kit, not even realizing what was in there. But overall, I'm very happy with how it turned out. But I will tell you, I don't know that that's a Villa Rosa design that I would repeat, and that's okay. I don't have to. I got what I wanted and got it done, one and done, and that's not a bad thing sometimes either. But I do think it turned out really cute. So excited to possibly get that on the long arm sometime, but Lord only knows when that's going to happen because I'm going to try to do a video before the end of the month um, to go over all the works in process I have and then think about how I'd like to try to get some semblance of a schedule to get some of these knocked out. Interesting enough, my daughter wants me to do a quilt for the kindergarten teacher at their school because that um, um, the kindergarten teacher had my granddaughter last year. Has got my grandson this year. My daughter is absolutely crazy about the school teacher. So she asked me if I would do a quilt for her. I forgot about it, so I did pull up and find some things the other day. I bought a layer cake. The school is bees, is their mascot, and I found a um, really cool layer cake with blues and golds and all that that I thought would really be cool for to do it. The teacher herself loves sunflowers, so this had sunflowers and bees, so it just worked out perfect. I ordered that from my favorite quilt store Thursday or Friday. So I'm hoping by the time I get back from Easter, it'll be here. I want to get that put together. I plan to cut out the beehive from AccuQuilt and do that applique in the center block of the quilt. And then on top of it, because that's not going to be challenging enough by itself, once I sew that and get it appliqued to the quilt block, then I want to go back and put it through the embroidery machine and put the school name on it and maybe the 2 years, 2024, 2025, because that's when she had both the kids. And then I want to cut out the AccuQuilt bees and then put the kid's name on each bee. So she'll have each kid will be a bee around the beehive, and that'll be the center. And then once I get all of that done and get it all sewn together, then at the end of the day, it's still got to be quilted. It's still got to be trimmed and cut, and then it's got to be binded. So my hope is to probably send it out to be long armed because especially once I do the applique in the center of the quilt net, I don't want to have to worry about trying to quilt around that because I've not done that before and I just want to get it done. So that's probably the next thing, next big challenge for me is to get that done because I have got to have that in Virginia by late May because I think the last day of school she said is like May 31st or June 1st. So I am really pushing it to get it done. She had asked me like in November about it, but did she ever bring it up again? No. So um, it's fine. We'll get it done. Always get it done. So, and it's for my little princess and for the two grandkids. And she really has been crazy about this teacher. And then she said, I really like the first grade teacher too. I said, listen, he needs a different first grade teacher because this is not a precedent that they're going to have the same teacher year after year, and that each, if they have them both, that they're getting quilts. Just not happening. So, especially when I bought a couple of pieces of fabric to go with it, so I could, do some sashing, bordering, all that around the the layer cake squares. And then I'm looking at how I want. It was like $112 at the end of the day. And because she goes, "Did you want me to send you money? Did you want me to blah blah blah?" And I'm like, "No, just leave me alone. Let me just get it done." I did send her pictures of the fabric and that to ask her if she liked that. Because then she tells me, because this is all in the blues, all in the yellows and golds. It's really a pretty layer cake. And then she goes, "Well, the school color is maroon and gold." Yeah, you just don't get everything sometimes. So, I happened to find a layer cake that I thought will work, and that's what we're going with. So, it is what it is, girlfriend. So, it'll still be exciting. I bet the teacher likes it just as well. So, we'll see how that goes. And then I did something that I never do. I ordered for the first time from Hancock Fabrics because they had a clearance sale and had some really, really good prices on fabrics, and so I wanted to get some things, get some different fabric, and I ordered it like last Tuesday, and yeah, I did order quite a bit. Um, Again, you had to order like $100 to get free shipping, and it's like, if you get to 70, 80, and then they're going to charge you $15 shipping, you might as well go on and get to $100 and get free shipping. So there is a madness to my reasoning. So that is what I did. But then it was like um, just so crazy. It was like, I can't believe they haven't yet to ship my order. I was like, how long do you all possibly take to get shipments? So I don't know if you all bought from Hancock, if that's the way it is. I know I've had problems in the past with the Missouri Star Quilt. I find them to be slow at times in shipping, and then I realize it's probably because they're inundated with the sale that drew me in. So I try to give them some grace because it's like, okay, now I kind of get it. But then with this one, it was like, guys, I mean, Hancock's supposed to be this big operation as well. So we'll see. But I I'm anxious to get that fabric so I can get, because I need more fabric. As Joy will tell you, see, I have space on my shelves, which means I have stuff that I need something there. Just looks bare, doesn't look good. So we will see. We shall see. We shall overcome, right? Is what they say. Well, so my friend has got me watching Harry Potter. I have never read the books or pulled much with Harry Potter, so it has been interesting. I think we're on movie four now, watching that series of movies. It's been kind of cool. I think it was the fourth one I really liked. The third one wasn't a bad movie, except it was like 3 hours. One of them was like over 3 hours. And I'll tell you, I'm not a 3 hour boy when it comes to movies. I would have never, I won't go to the theater to see a 3 hour movie. I can tell you that is just not happening. So, but it's been kind of fun watching Harry Potter. I never was into Harry Potter. My children were never into Harry Potter. So it's just something that kind of got left out of my life, which is fine. I mean, somehow I managed to have a pretty successful life and career and never watch Harry Potter. But it's kind of been kind of fun catching up. I'm also probably the only American that has never watched Star Trek, or not Star Trek, um, Star Wars. I've never seen Star Wars. I've seen, I think, everything Star Trek, but I'm not a huge sci-fi guy, and for some reason, I don't know, Star Wars never resonated with me. So, I mean, I know enough about it to know, Luke and R2D2 and some of those. Some of the characters, but not enough that I know much about um, the movie itself and that. I mean, Luke Skywalker and some of that. I mean, like I said, I know the characters. I know some of the play on um, things, but I've never actually gotten into any of that series. So maybe one day we'll see. Um, Goodness, this is actually going on and may actually look pretty nice. I can't believe how much better my binding has gotten with just working on these silly placemats and that. So, it is one of those things, just like anything else. The more you do it, the better it gets. And I really just needed to take the time to do some binding. And so I am kind of glad that I did go down this path. Although now just having a stack of these to do, it's like, what did you do? Why did you do that to yourself? But I'll be happy when I have these to put out on the table and use. I do use placemats every night. I'm one of those people that just has to have a placemat. Oh, Kathy says she's done a piece type before. I'm anxious to see how it goes. I have not done any of the applique from um, AccuQuilt. I own way, way too many dies from AccuQuilt, and I own quite a few of the applique dies. Because it's one of those where you start buying them, then you go, but it's applique. Why do you keep doing that? But anyways, I do it anyways, and so now I've got several of them that I want to work on. But I'm kind of glad. See, bought the beehive because it was on sale. I think is the only reason I bought it because it was one of those that was kind of cheap, because they were not closing it out, but it was one of their special sales or whatever that they had. So I grabbed it, and now I'm glad I did because I actually made beehives. I think it was last year, and sewed them at some of the craft shows because you know um, the bees have become very popular, and so you actually take. Um, I'm gonna call it twine, but it's not twine, but um, the rope and melt it across a inverted flower pot, and then you have to go back and paint the beehive hole and decorate it all up in that. If I think about it, I'll grab one sometime and bring out. But I sewed a bunch of those at craft fairs a year or 2 years ago, and so they're fun to do. The only problem is you have to use lots of hot glue. There's a certain way you really got to put them together, and you end up with burnt fingers for several weeks after doing it because there's just no way to do it and not set your fingers kind of on fire. So, but that was fine too. Uh, Zaza says Missouri Star has horrible shipping time. Stuff can take 2 weeks to leave the warehouse. Yeah, I mean, I get that they're big and busy, but it's like, come on, guys. I mean, what's going on? Kathy says I usually buy a mini bolt of solid fabric from them. Yeah, I get that. I actually have now I think 12 bolts of solids because I just got tired of not having white, black, red, blue, green, blah blah blah. And I've got a few friends that actually just come and buy it from me because I sell it to them more or less at a wholesale price just to help keep it turning. But yeah, I've got about 9, 10 bolts that I keep, and then they came out with the 60-inch fabric, and that got to be a real pain to find. So I think I have 3 colors in the 60-inch now too. I think I got black, white, and gray in the 60-inch because sometimes that's just the right size to do. Piece lap quilt. So a backing, even though it's solid, they don't make very many colors in that 60-inch, but that 60-inch sometimes just works and keeps me from having to piece. Also says if they have a big sale, they have a backlog. Yeah, it's just crazy to me though. Oh, Charlotte says, thanks for having the closed captioning. You are absolutely welcome. And you can actually thank Danielle. She's the one that finally got me set up and got me straightened out. And I apologize. It just took a few shows to get there. It's just one of those things. There's just so many different buttons. So I use one software to stream in, which then jumps over to YouTube, but then YouTube still wants to be in charge of certain things. So it's just crazy. Trina says Missouri has gotten better with Amazon shipping. I usually use a bundle, and the package normally arrives in 2 days from the it's shipped notes. Yeah, see, it's funny. I think so many places now are jumping on the Amazon bandwagon because it does help their sales in that. But then to stay compliant with Amazon, they have to take that ends up taking precedent over um, their own like website sales itself, so that it's like, okay, so really, so I'm supporting you directly, which means I'm kind of leaving Amazon out for you, but yet you want to stay on Amazon to see if you can create a new customer base. So therefore it just gets tougher and tougher. So I don't know, it is what it is. um, Fortunately, I don't need the fabric. I just would have liked for it to have arrived um, versus having it sit on my porch for a few days while I'm gone. Um, especially if it comes like when I've already left for Easter. And the nice thing is, I sit so many streets back. There's very little traffic on my street unless you're coming down the street for a reason. So I've never had um, problems with packages here. I found this on the web for little traffic on my street unless you're coming down the street for a reason. So if I could get him to shut up, I would. Sorry, I don't know what is going on with this iPhone. How crazy. All right. Hopefully he will stay quiet the rest of the show. And yes, I use a Australian male theory is my voice. Because again, I couldn't just, I can't do what everyone else would do. But I'm lucky that we don't have porch pirates in that, at least in this area. Others in the development may have some problems from time to time, but I think it's more the ones that are in the more of the more of the condo townhomes than the single dwellings. But I don't know. I just know our street doesn't have any problems, and I've got amazing neighbors. And the neighbor right across the street would be thrilled to come over and get it for me if I asked them. I just hate obligating people to come get my package, especially since they already make fun of me. Because they all laugh at how many times Amazon, FedEx, and that show up here each week because they think I do have some type of addiction to fabric and buying. But, again, I work hard for my money, so as long as I'm paying for it, I can do what I want. I just have to be careful sometimes when I sit out because I do have one neighbor that occasionally likes to go through my boxes and garbage, I think, to see what I've bought. So I am careful about what I sit out sometimes. Um, you just never know. It's just funny how people are. All right, what's going on in the chat? I am so far behind, guys. Katrina says I've been working on the embroidery kit from Garden Friends on the next to the last row. Look at you, 12 blocks to embroider left. I tell you what, it is. It does feel like a big accomplishment. I've got, like I said, I've got the hummingbird kit out, which is all that 10, 100,000 stitches or whatever to do the panels and that. I bought the thread kits. I want to do it on the 10 needle, and yet has the hook ran anytime lately? No, I just don't have time. Yes, Charlotte, make sure to thank Danielle. She's amazing. She'll be sorry she missed being here tonight because I know she would have loved to comment on that gnome. She'll comment on it. It won't be a problem. I know she'll see it. She always does watch a replay. And again, we're so fortunate. We have such a good community. Russ has helped me out more times than one in getting my channel up and going. Um, and it's just we've all learned by hook or crook different things that work. It's funny what works sometimes for Russ doesn't work for me, but he's also got a much brighter brain when it comes to some of the technology. I'm an HR guy, so at the end of the day, I can help with HR stuff, but technology stuff still throws me, and I try to act like it doesn't, but I can tell you it can certainly be quite a challenge. Look at this. I am actually going to get one placement done while we are live tonight. Oh, how amazing is that? And I actually did some stitching in the ditch. My corners are actually starting to look better. I am very proud of myself, guys. So much to go. Look at that. So I am so ready for St. Patrick's Day 2026. And look, I want you to see these corners. I'm telling you, I am nailing these corners. I am so learning to do these. And one of the things I'm learning is that it took the right machine. So Jake, who for some reason is actually cooperating with me tonight, um, makes a big difference. And at the end of the day, having a little patience around um, going around the quilt, going around and stitching. I think I get anxious just to get it done. I just want to get it done. And I think that was part of my problem with binding. Plus, just trying to do it on a full size quilt. Even when you talk about 3 yard quilts, which y'all don't even want to know, I have become so obsessed with Donna and Fran since QuiltCon. I have bought literally this entire stack of books from them lately. So I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9, 10, 11, 12 of their books now. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they only have 14 that are actually published. But if you all are looking to do something different, you need to look at the Make It Home by Fran. And I love the quilts that are on here. And I love this one especially. Um, but they've got some really cool stuff. In this book, they actually put together accompaniments, right? So do this as a table runner, do this as a pillow, do this to match. And so it's really been fun. I've really gotten obsessed with them all of a sudden, to the extent that I'm watching YouTube and they come on again, and I'm like, guys, I've watched I think every video that they've had lately, and so now I've got to go into YouTube and start saying, quit showing me them over and over and over again. But I really have gotten into the 3 yard quilts. I think I've kind of given up on Villa Rosa for a little bit, just to get into the 3 yard quilts. And in fact, had just bought um, Make It Patriotic with 3 yard quilts. And I think I just wanted to kind of do something different, I think is how I've ended up back at 3 yard quilts after doing so much with Villa Rosa. But yeah, I think we all find designers and different things that we like. Sorry. So we'll see. We'll keep going. We will get it figured out. I always do somehow, don't I? So, guys, we are coming up on the top of the hour. I am having a creamy chicken Parmesan Italian chicken dish that was put in the crock pot earlier today. think we're having egg noodles and that with that, and probably peas for dinner tonight. So I am excited to get off and do that. Balluna, see, Balloonist, that's why we are such kindred spirits. She says she has all of those books as well. So Charlotte says Fabric Cafe patterns are great. I've made several. Yeah, I think I just want to start doing some different things. I just bought Tula's pattern. I just bought another Tula pattern. I've got the other one that I bought from Andover that I need to get cut. And I think I figured out a way to cheat the pattern that I showed you all last week. I think I figured out a way that I can cheat and cut it with AccuQuilt. So that should make it go faster. But we'll see. But the main thing is I've really got to start getting some long arming done. If anything, I may end up having to send some of it out because I really want to get that work in progress down. And you'll see, I'll get a video out in the next couple of weeks and go through some of the things that are sitting on the shelves. And, like I said, I've got all these 3, 6, I probably got, oh, 7, I bet you I've got 15 quilt tops cut, not counting the rugs, the appliques, the door hangers, all that other stuff that I still need to get to. But we'll get there one day. What I had to do is now that I've turned the camera this way, Joydie doesn't see this shelf unit over here that is full as well. So maybe we'll do a tour of John's YouTube studio sometime in the long arm room. So we'll see if we can't make that work one night. So, guys, as always, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you listening to me rattle on. Hope you all have an amazing week. Thank you, Miss Jan. I hope to have a safe trip, a quick trip, and get back here so I can get to Virginia. As always, I appreciate everything you do. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, tell your friends and neighbors. If you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome. It doesn't get any better. This is what it is. And as always, until next time, happy crafting.